I like it. I need that personal development.
Yeah. Just saying, I guess I figured as far as like, that is a big thing that happens to women, like I remember I was in a room one time, there was one of 4, I was the only one that hadn't been in a situation like that. That's a fact.
That's why I said a lot of that depends on like your surroundings, because I can only give an opinion based on what I see.
Yeah, and so and what we find is there's a lot of people that have gone through a lot of trauma, a lot of damage. And yeah, why is the world fucked up today? There's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of damage, and nobody knows how to heal from it. Nobody knows how to heal from it. And if anything, I would say most people just make shit worse for their own life. Like if you had that trauma in y'all's life or something like that, how often does it come up again because of you bringing, like you kind of manifesting it?
If you
because you're doing, women we're talking about abuse. Do y'all know what who's the most abusive? The most abusive households are lesbian households. Why? Like why is it that lesbians are the most physically abusive?
I can honestly say I've come across a lot of men who were sexually abused by older women when they were growing up. To be honest, I've come across that a lot. So I
manipulated.
I can see that.
The biggest thing is like whenever I hate when the abuse stuff is brought up and stuff, because it's always like a constant. It's the one card that y'all can play that's just like fuck men, but like you keep bringing up a lot of negatives sometimes, and I could tell you're real damaged. Like you have gone through a lot of shit, and you are actually a misandrist. You actually hate men, and like I really feel bad for you. Like I'm sorry whatever happened to you in your past, but you need to stop taking it out on other men for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying that you even do that. You were really respectful out here.
I take it out on everybody.
Yeah. Well, I just want you to know though, like that's not gonna fix anything though. Like what's gonna fix it
is, I heal? How do I heal? What's the solution?
Learning the truth. Like not honestly, that's why I do this show, is because if y'all learn the truth about men, you'll stop hating them. Just like how when guys learn the truth about women, sometimes they stop hating them because they're like, oh, I'm not going to get mad that she was hypergamous. Oh, I'm not going to get mad that she did this. That's human nature. So if you learn about human nature, you learn about why men do these things, then you might be like, okay, I understand it. And abuse happens a lot because of households being like everything. Almost all issues in today come from poverty mostly. Okay, I'm not saying all of it. There's definitely abuse. There's definitely abuse in high. I got in a huge argument last week over this. There's definitely abuse up in the high households. But since there's a lot of people in poverty and the wealth gap has completely disappeared right now, it's a bunch of lower class and a few higher class, and the middle gap is like gone. So because of that, there's even more abuse. Because what's going to cause even more abuse? Y'all shit testing your man because y'all are broke. Him not being able to have confidence and be a happy man because he can barely pay for a new tire when y'all need it. Like y'all got to understand how emasculated men are today and how masculine women are, which causes even more divide in the household, even more fights and all this shit. Like it's crazy how much we don't like to sit there and reflect on ourselves and be like, what did I do to like cause this, or what did I do to bring this up to happen?
I am damaged. I'm highly toxic, and that was my point. I'm still healing as a woman. I still do desire a relationship that is healthy with a family dynamic that is healthy. But from where I'm coming from, it's like, do you even care about that? And how many people that we have to share those pieces of our parts? Like, we share those pieces. Like when we talk about the broken pieces and we're attracting parts of ourselves, we attract these people. I attract these pieces because I'm so fucking broken.
No,
I will never settle.
It's really not. Y'all want to know it? I mean, yeah, sometimes like I was joking with the guys earlier when you were talking, and I'll go ahead and bring it up now. Like you're alpha widowed. And like what that is where like you've experienced a certain level of certain things and you can never backtrack. Like there could be an awesome average dude that's 5'8", makes $60K a year. He'd probably never get a chance with you. And the thing is, like, once you're alpha widowed to a certain, but this is why it's dangerous for y'all to sleep around, because when y'all release oxytocin from orgasms and you get pair bonded to a certain guy and it hurts when he breaks it off from you, and then you go to another guy and you do it again, you go to another guy, do it again. Next thing you know, you're doing that 20 times and you have no feelings anymore.
None.
You're like,
I have
fuck
no
this.
feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's exactly what happens, and we can prove that. There's studies that show women have a 12% happiness after 20 bodies in a relationship. 12% happiness in a marriage after they've had 20 bodies.
Or 12% chance at a happy marriage?
No, it's just like they're like 12% of them are happy. When they did the study, they asked them, "Are you happy in your marriage?" And the women over 20 bodies, there was only 12% of them said that they were happy in their marriage. And that number is like at 2 or 3 bodies is like 80% or something like that.
Well, and like I said, that's why I don't sleep around. Like I know I'm a romantic. I know I'll fall in love. Like
it's gonna hurt.
Nothing. So I stay guarded. Unless you're all in, I'm not gonna be all in.
Yeah. So I gotta ask really quick. Where do you work at again?
I'm a pastry chef.
A pastry chef. Okay. And where do you work at again?
I'm a massage therapist and I'm also a stripper.
Okay. So like I just need to like show like a little dynamic here though. Your environment is what's going to make it hard for you. If you're around women that are finessing dudes all day, if you're around a bunch of beta cuck simp dudes throwing money and shit, it's going to give you this mentality of like the sexual dynamic that's really off. And like if you could honestly completely avoid that and like somehow get away from it, I really think you would be in a way better spot, because it's going to sit there and mentally drain you and make you think that men are a certain way, that they're really not. All men are like that. I have to teach men all the time online because there's a huge section of the internet of guys that think all women are hoes.
Yeah.
All women are hoes. And I have to teach them, no, bro, you need to go here. You need to go do this. It's your environment. You're using dating apps. You're doing this. And like when you do certain things as a guy that doesn't get anything, you just inevitably end up fucking a hoe. And then they're like, damn, it fucking 3 girls in a row. They must all be like this. And it's like, no, bro, it's the places where you went. It's who you talk to. It's those are just those type of girls. And if you go to this place, or if you go here, or if you try this, you might find a good girl. And a lot of these guys, they like shoot themselves in the foot because they portray themselves a certain way. And when a good relationship girl gets out of a relationship, they wouldn't even consider those type of guys sometimes.
Why am I disqualified as a good girl just because of my occupation, first of all? Second of all, how come I cannot grow from where I'm at right now?
What do you mean? What do you mean you can't grow?
So because I'm a hoe right now.
I'm not calling you a hoe.
I'm calling myself a hoe. Okay, I was like, I'm sorry, I looked at the camera.
Yeah, as long as you're.
But listen, it's real shit. Like, I've always been a hoe ever since I was in middle school, you guys. Like, I have to say, like, don't feel bad for me because I'm taking my power back. I'm liberating women and telling women wherever you come from, it's okay to explore yourself.
Hold on. Are you hypersexual?
What is that?
Are you hypersexual?
Like fucking everybody and anybody?
No. Hypersexual, is it easy for you to have orgasms? Like, can you have multiple back-to-back orgasms?
It takes me about 30 minutes.
Can you have back-to-back?
Not yet.
No? But no, like are you the type where you can have back-to-back?
I mean, if
can you like are you the type where like sometimes like you want to have sex really bad and like you'll do whatever, like you'll go do it right then?
No.
You don't consider yourself hypersexual? No. Okay. Did you have any trauma? I don't even want to dig this far deep, but did you have any trauma when you were a child sexually?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the problem. You're sitting here speaking from a point of view of a woman that had trauma from your childhood, sexual trauma from your childhood, and you're trying to sit here and say that it's no big deal. I have freedom now. I have sexual liberation from it. What really happened is you actually have really bad trauma and you still haven't dealt with it correctly yet. You're using this whole thing of I can be sexually liberated. I can have all this sex and stuff, and that's what's going to fix those things. That's not what fixes those things. God is what's going to fix that. Like Amen. You're not going to fix it just sitting there lying to yourself all day about that. And like it's sad because what you just said, you know how you told all of them, like, be sexually liberated, ladies, y'all can take you can take your bodies back. A lot of women say that. A lot of women say that, man.
If you don't mind me asking, how often do you go to church?
I don't believe that the church is a building. That's not what it is. And like a lot of people need to understand something about me on this show. I'm not some super strong Christian. I am not. I call myself a very secular Christian. I went to church very hardcore from 12 to 15, and not because my parents made me or anything like that, because I went and served at a church because I wanted to. I literally started homeschooling just so I could go there even more. Okay. I was a very strong Christian. I memorized the Bible. I did a lot of that stuff, and I stopped and I went completely against it at one point. I became a complete atheist by the time I was 16, and then went all the way back to Christianity as over 15 years. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a lot of truth in the Bible. The problem is we always personify with God. We always like to make God into this figure with a beard in the sky.
If I may, it's about our personal relationship, right? It's about our personal relationship. So how do you know? Because I'm more spiritual than religious. How do you know that that's not how
even
God's
deep in
trying
your heart,
to liberate me?
Even deep in your heart, you know that you're not supposed to do that.
He put us here naked.
I know.
He put us here naked.
Yeah, but and do you know why we wear clothes now?
He killed his own
do you
brother.
know why we wear clothes though? Like, do you know why we have to cover ourselves? Because of our sin. Like that. Like we're not perfect. Like none of us are perfect. So because of that, we need to constantly reach perfection. Like I see God as parallel lines. Like we're just trying to be perfect, and like not everybody's gonna become perfect. Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I feel like with a lot of us, when it comes to like trauma or healing or accountability, whatever you may have it, I feel like one of the biggest things that holds us back, Kelly, is our ego, because that ego is not your real self. it's something that we created over time based on what we went through, our surroundings. So, you know, we become adaptive. So in our head, we think that we're this person, we think that we're really this type of way, and we think, but it's that's not the real you. And I feel like when we are able to acknowledge that ego and face it and then let it go, then it's a little, it'll help to heal
Mind
and
over matter.
and to step into, you know, and to step into your real, you know, the real who I am, who Chantel is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that I'm going through like right now. Cause I'm with you. Like I've been, you know, I've got some trauma from my past. Like I said, I grew up with my dad. My dad had a lot of girlfriends, and you know, those girlfriends had a lot of sons. And a lot of times I was left at the house because they were working.
Yeah.
They had to work a lot. And, you know, I went through what the fuck I went through, but I don't really like to compare myself. I don't like to do that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's different.
Yeah.
So I can't take what the fuck I went through and be like, oh, because I got over, like, you know, like
the biggest thing though is like we got to take from this is we got to protect our kids from sexual trauma. The earlier that shit happens, the more it sexualizes them. Sometimes it causes hypersexuality.
It does.
And like it causes a cluster B disorders, histrionic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder. All these things come from that early childhood trauma, and it's almost every time sexual. So we have to protect our kids as much as possible. We got to start telling people, you know, like when these things happen, don't sit there and let it control your life and make you into this whole different person. Realize like your true self. And
hey y'all, Sergio here. I just want to mention I've created a completely free guide that shows you exactly how I went from having low confidence and being painfully awkward around women to easily meeting and dating numerous high quality desirable women in real life without the use of any dating apps or social media. So if you're struggling to get out there, if you have approach anxiety or don't know what to say or how to interact with women to make them want you and are sick of using dating apps with low value girls that hundreds of other guys have been chatting with, click the link in the description below to grab your free guide right now. And if you want private mentorship with me personally to help guide you every step of the way in this process, check out my mentorship program in the description too. I would be happy to help you reach your dating goals and overcome any obstacle you may face. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope to see you soon. Peace out.